Welcome back to another edition of Mindset Monday here on the Architect Fitness YouTube channel. My name is Tony, and today we're going to be talking about what I like to call the two awakenings. So this is a little bit more of an abstract concept compared to some of the things we've talked about in the past, but basically what the two awakenings are is awakening to the idea that you are capable of change and that your limits are probably much further away than you think that they are. And the second awakening is that this is going to take a hell of a lot longer than you think it's going to. And these two ideas are kind of opposing of one another. It occurred to me not too long ago that some people might not think that change is actually possible for them. And I've seen this kind of happen with a few different clients and a few friends and just people I've observed from afar. And what that is they start on a journey, they start on a path, they have a goal in mind, and they start working towards it, and they're making some pretty big changes in their life. And as you probably know, making change isn't always the easiest thing. So they start down a path that they hope is going to make some positive change in their life. And they are really struggling with incorporating some new habits, and they do it for a period of time, maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe even a couple months, and it gets really hard. And then people start to think, you know what, maybe I can't do this. And it's not always a conscious thought. Sometimes it's just an internal, you know what, I would rather live my life the way I've been living it than try to incorporate all this change, especially if I'm not getting the results that I want. And that's when we start looking for sometimes excuses where it's genetics or it's a hormonal thing, I have no control over it. And that's not always true. The problem is it takes a long time to accomplish any meaningful change in your life, whether that's fitness, financial, relationship, whatever. Change takes time. Of course, there are people out there that are just very special. They're very gifted, whether it's for motivation or work ethic or whatever it might be, but they're not really special from a physiological standpoint. All of us are capable of accomplishing really, really great things. And even though you might not reach the tippity top of a particular field, you still can make some really great progress. So the first awakening you need to have within yourself is realizing that you are extremely capable of making a lot of positive change in your life. If there's someone's physique that you admire, you are capable of getting a lot closer to it than you are right now. You might not actually get there or surpass that person, but you're going to be a lot further along than you are now and probably can get further than you think that you can. If there's a particular level of performance that you're looking to achieve, you can probably get a lot closer to it than you think. So that's the first step, is awakening to the idea that you are capable of amazing things. And a really common idea in the fitness world is that, your body is your business card, that it reflects your personal work ethic or dedication. But life doesn't really work like that. In fact, we can be extremely successful in certain aspects of our life and complete failures in others. And you don't need to look any further than, for example, celebrities, who are people who often have tons of critical acclaim, financial success, have produced great works of art or great performances in sports, but they're going through terrible divorces, they're cheating on their spouses, they're committing suicide or abusing drugs. So success, work ethic, dedication, all these concepts, they're not universal to life. Some people are very good at one thing and not so good at others. But we can draw on our successes in other aspects of life to show us that we are capable of accomplishing difficult things. So while a lot of people struggle with diet and exercise and achieving performance or the aesthetics that they're looking for, you've probably done something harder in your life already than getting in really great shape. If you've had a kid, you've already done something harder, in my opinion. If you've opened a business, if you're successful at work, draw on those successes to awaken yourself to the idea of how capable you are. Although the strategies you use to be successful at work or with family might not be directly applicable to fitness, you can still analyze how you were successful in those avenues and apply those strategies to working out, to accomplishing your nutritional goals and reaching the physique or the performance that you're looking for. Now let's talk about the second awakening. Now that we've awakened to the idea that we are very capable people, we need to come to the realization and the awakening that this is probably going to take a lot longer than you think it's going to. And again, we're going to frame the conversation around fat loss. So with fat loss, we say average weight loss is 1 pound per week. But of course, some weeks we're going to lose more than 1 pound, and some weeks we're not going to lose any weight or maybe even backtrack. And the other thing is we want to maintain as much muscle mass as possible. And unfortunately, not every single pound of body weight that we lose is going to be pure body fat. In fact, some of that's going to be lean body tissue or muscle. So let's say you have 50 pounds to lose. That would be 50 weeks, averaging out 1 pound per week. But here's the problem. You're not going to do everything perfectly every week. So maybe factor in 5 or 6 weeks of, oops, I screwed up, time to get back on the wagon. Now let's also factor in the fact that you have about 50 pounds of body fat you'd like to lose. Not all of the weight that you lose will be body fat. So add in another 5 to 10 weeks. So you're looking at over a year to accomplish your goal of 50 pounds of body weight loss. Now, awakening to this idea can be good and it can also be bad. It's good because you need to be realistic with yourself, because you need to employ patience to be successful. And it's good to be honest and upfront and not kind of trick yourself into thinking that, hey, I'm going to have this fabulous performance or physique in 2 or 3 months' time. On the downside, looking down 50 to 60 or maybe even 70 weeks of time, for example, can be very hard to swallow and might discourage you. That's why it's important to focus on more short-term goals and managing habits rather than outcomes. So if you make your goals habit-based, for example, I know that walking 10,000 steps a day or more is going to help me lose fat. I know that tracking my food is going to help me lose fat. I know that eating 20 or more grams of fiber per day is going to help me lose fat. I know that exercising 3 times a week is going to help me lose fat. So instead of saying my goal is to lose a pound a week or 5 pounds a month or whatever that might be, make your goal, I want to walk 10,000 steps a day. That's my goal. I want to eat 20 grams of fiber or more a day. That's my goal. And those are very small goals that you can focus on day by day. So even if you screw up, for example, yesterday I only had 18 grams of fiber. Okay, not a big deal. I'm going to do better today. And that one day in the scheme of 30 days in a row isn't going to mean much. But if you set your goal to something like, I want to lose 10 pounds this month, and you come up short, you're looking back at 30 days worth of work and going, oh man, I just put in all that effort and I didn't get what I wanted. So even though we need to be awakened to the idea that this is going to take a long time, if we kind of put the blinders on a little bit and focus on the day by day, it's going to make a big difference in the long run. As a side note, this whole topic is a great example of why some people find it hard to achieve the same level of success with their fitness if they've done this journey before and then completely fallen off the wagon and started back from square one. I think there's something very powerful about the first time you go through a fitness transformation because the whole world kind of seems magical to you. The possibilities seem endless and you can actually use that to your advantage. On the downside, if you've gone through this transformation before, say you've lost a really significant amount of weight, kept it off for a while, but then something happened and you regained it all or more, it can be kind of tough to get back on the wagon because you know exactly how much work this takes. And to be honest, the second or third time around, it's going to take even more because you're older. And when you yo-yo diet, your body also becomes more susceptible to fat gain and better at fighting off weight loss. So to sum up this Mindset Monday, number 1, realize that you are almost infinitely capable. So use that to your advantage and believe in yourself. And number 2, this stuff takes a long time. So you got to be patient. And as a side note, guys, I just launched a new Instagram page called Anthony Eats Everything, where I'm going to be posting every single day, almost every meal that I eat, along with the macros for those meals. So for all you guys that are interested in what different foods you can be eating and how to track macros, definitely subscribe to that page. Again, Anthony Eats Everything on Instagram. It's all one word. And I'm going to be posting lots of cool information, stuff that won't make it here to the YouTube channel. So a follow is appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time for another episode of Mindset Monday.